Badge Bros, John and Nez back for Solver Series 1.08. It is Friday, August 15th. We got some big news this week here that's going to rock the ADP landscape in the upcoming week here. Nez, nice to be back in the saddle together for one of these. I think we both mixed in a solo there recently. But yeah, this will be dropping for the people on Saturday. So yeah, we're going to talk through Judkins situation, talk through Rashi Rice situation, do some slow drafts as the people have grown really to enjoy, and then we'll do a fast draft to close it out.
Easy enough, man. Sounds like a good formula. We are rapidly approaching the start of the season. I have 80 Best Ball Mania sixes left to draft. My work is certainly cut out for me.
Oh, buddy. Yes, that is going to be crunch time. Are you going to mess around and do like multiples at a time and stuff like that? Are you in that territory yet where you think you're going to have to do that?
Where I'm at now is like once I'm at like the 12th round, I'll enter a new one. But with the 20-second clocks, it's really tough to do two at once. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
once I'm in the 12th round and I have an idea of how my team's going to end, I can start a new one.
it's kind of funny with the advent of the 20-second clocks. I actually used to think it was easier to multi on mobile, but now with like utilizing the solver in the active tab and multi drafting, I find it way better on the computer now.
Yeah, 100%. It's impossible right now to do two at once on mobile. It's just
Yeah.
you're gonna miss a pick. You're gonna make suboptimal picks. Yeah.
Yeah, bless the tools for that, my friend. Let's jump on over. We're going to use the Best Ball Explorer to start here. I did a little bit of a portfolio walkthrough there last week out, Nez. So nothing really to catch up on there. I think I got another 50 drafts in over the course of this week. So entry fees continue to climb, drafts continue to climb. Sorry, I messed that up. There we go. And yeah, I'm not as far behind as you are, maybe, but I'm not that far off because I got 68, I think, left to go in the Best Ball Mania there. So yeah, honestly, I'm kind of just excited about it. I'm not like I'm not like skittish about it. I'm like excited to be like it's time to rip it in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting more excited about it. It's just like I'm at the point where the guys that I want to take are just like I'm having some sticker shock on new prices of guys, but I'm trying to just lean into it and see how it looks.
Yeah.
The results of that has been like, well, I don't necessarily love the way that my teams like. I don't love every single pick that I make on these teams, but when it's all said and done, I can look at the team and tell a story about how each pick kind of makes sense and did I allocate draft capital appropriately? And most of the time I can say yes, but yeah, that's like the challenge is like, okay, like you had targets, they're steaming up, like what are you going to do? Because like if you don't take those targets, you're probably going to make picks that you don't like even less. So
Right.
it is what it is.
Yeah, it's an interesting offseason right now. I mean, a lot of football, a lot of practices left to go in terms of like injury stuff leading up. But BBM traditionally speaking, and some of these other contests like weekly winners, eliminator, and stuff, we've always kind of spoken how like back weighted stuff. When you had more information, you had more knowledge, would play better for advance rates. But almost everything we've seen in this isolated offseason is perceived CLV for early drafters right now. So like the Judkins, the Keenan Allens, like this sort of thing. So I don't know. We're waiting for the other shoe to drop, but given the drafting landscape, it's not a given that that's ever going to occur, right? Yeah, I don't know. So it just makes for a very different dichotomy than previous years right now, I think.
Yeah, there's still time.
Yeah.
We're not done yet, right? We still got a lot, like you said, a lot of football to go, still a lot of cuts to be made. So I think that's really the value of being somebody that's back weighted is like, yeah, you get CLV, that's cool, but like I guarantee I'll have less dead roster spots and I'll probably have more interesting late round picks at lesser drafted percentages. that's really what I'm doing it for. I'm relinquishing the CLV game for less dead roster spots.
Right. And CLV obviously is only ever realized if those players perform, right? So, it's not a given that, like, hey, some of these guys that people got big time closing weight value on, like, perfect segue into talking about Judkins, are necessarily smashes anyways, right? So, we're going to have that conversation about Judkins, but you did pique my interest here a little bit there, Nez, that I was just going to go check out. I'm going to click on one of these drafts that has like crazy CLV for me. Here's a Best Ball Mania one from the 17th of May. Let's see if this is actually good or not. Mahomes, Fields, Bijan, Connor, Charbonnet, Spears going in the wrong direction now. Allen. Yeah, there you go. Dylan Sampson, like that just flipped on its head. So the reason this roster looks crazy in terms of CLV is Keenan Allen and Dylan Sampson. And now Dylan Sampson is, I don't know, probably rightfully belongs there. I mean, maybe not quite as far back as round 18, but it's just pretty funny when you look at, like, hey, what was making up all of the ADP value on this team? Well, someone that just went snip snap on us this afternoon or yesterday afternoon.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so like, I don't know, man. When I look at my best CLV teams, it's not always like you just highlighted there. It's not always like a sick team.
Right, exactly. I'm going to go ahead and use the ADP visualization tool here, and I'm just going to throw in the perceived Browns backfield right now, and we can just talk through this a little bit. Judkins not fully out of the water yet, but clearly good that some of the criminal charges were dropped. So there could still be disciplinary action from the Browns, which is highly unlikely, I would estimate, but disciplinary action from the league. He still does have to sign his. He was one of those round 2, round 3, round 4 guys that were doing the holdout thing this year. So he still does have to sign that. And then he's got to play catch up on all this missed time with OTAs and practice and that sort of thing. But taking that all into consideration here, Nez, we basically saw Sampson flip him over the course of the last 4 weeks. And, Sampson represented by the blue line there, Judkins represented by the green line. And then you can see the uptick at the tail end of this green line, suggesting that, like, oh, people are reacting to 1 days of news there. He's pushing back up. Yeah, overall thoughts on it, where you want to be at on it. Is he a target for you now? Where's the ADP trending toward? Where do you want it to be?
I don't think I'm going to have a lot of Judkins. I don't think I'm going to be chasing this up boards. Yeah. It's definitely, I think, greater than 50% that he gets some sort of disciplinary action. We've seen the NFL do it before without any sort of criminal evidence presented in court. They do their own investigation and they make their own determinations on this. And ultimately, it's a bad look for the league. So that alone tends to lead to disciplinary action. So he has a late start in camp. He's getting suspended most likely. The team's going to suck. Like, very, very much like in the cards that this team is just absolutely god awful. Do you want Judkins at all? I think I'm just going to continue to make the Judkins fade moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in lockstep with you there, though I did snatch up a couple shares in my most recent BBMs there where the room just hadn't fully adjusted to it and clearly wasn't using ranks. So I did go ahead and mix them in like the 120s. They're kind of in that same zone that we've grown accustomed to Keenan Allen rising to right now. Also, just because there's a bunch of FUD around the other guys in that area as well, right? Like, Ray Davis falling a little bit because of James Cook's signing there. Jadon Blue still not practicing with a little bit of, I think it was an ankle thing, if memory serves there. So, yeah, there is some fun around those other guys. I do tend to agree with you, though, man. Like, when we do zoom out on a full macro level, this could be a really bad football team in a very, tough, grinded out, hard-nosed division with bad offensive line play. Like, what do we win when we win here? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was one bull case I did see on the X machine yesterday. Shout out to Guru Fantasy World there, who was he tweeted something out that I was completely unfamiliar with, to be honest. And it was Judkins is the only running back in NCAA history to post 1,500 plus rushing yards and 15 plus rushing touchdowns as a true freshman, and then get drafted in round 1 or 2, other than Adrian Peterson. So I was like, that's a bullish loaded statement there. Obviously a lot of noise, but then he was also the first ever running back to post an 11 plus foot broad jump to at 220 plus pounds. So this is someone who is clearly an athletic freak too. So I don't want to lose sight of that based on any moral judgment as well.
No, I get it, right? Like he was a good prospect. That's why he went so early. He went before Travion Henderson in the draft. That said, what have the Browns done to award them any sort of merit on their judgment, right? Why do we care what the Browns do and take it as any sort of signal? That would be my counterpoint.
Entirely reasonable one there. As we talked about, or I talked about Keenan Allen the previous week, we talked about Jordan Addison already. He's been a recipient of his suspension. The interesting thing this week from the Chiefs camp there is Rashee Rice. And Rashee Rice has kind of done the snip snap on us. People got really excited about him, steamed him into the second round, getting really jacked up about him. Then the legal proceedings took place and the inevitable concept of a suspension was coming down. Then there was no suspension issued for him yet. And then it comes to our understanding this week that they're going to back wait when they're going to have the hearing associated with it, making him presumably eligible to play the first 4 weeks of the season. Then he's going to have the conversation about whether or not he's suspended. So just reaction to Rice and what this means going forward.
I mean, this is a joke. This is a joke, dude.
Okay.
I mean, what a shit show, right? You get Jordan Addison, who both these dudes, I believe, pled on the same day.
Yep.
And we get the Addison ruling, but Rashee Rice has to go through this song and dance where he gets to start the season with the Chiefs. Are you are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's the biggest load of shit ever, man.
Big Windhurst emojis up with some of the bro sciencey versions of people where they really want their best product going forward from the Chiefs side when they do the Brazil series game against the Chargers. That's going to be internationally televised on YouTube. That was a quick clap back from people that the Chiefs have 3 of their first 4 games. One is international and internationally televised on YouTube, showcasing that product. Another one is NBC Sunday Night Football. And then the other 2 are against the Ravens and the Eagles.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of Windhurst emojis up that are in kind of lockstep with you that this is a crock of shit for more than one reason.
It's so dumb, bro. It's so dumb. So what are we doing about it from a draft perspective?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not really in love with Rashee Rice as a fantasy pick, because now I think there's even greater risk that he misses fantasy playoffs.
Right.
No, that was never a risk before. All that being said, for best ball purposes, this news that we just got is, in my opinion, not good, and does not make me want to take Rice any earlier or any more than I already have, which is very, 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 very few shares of Rashee Rice in my portfolio right now. It's just not the way that I choose to play these games. I think it's a really thin bet, and I think that if you don't think it's a thin bet, I think you're lying to yourself. And it gets even murkier now. So no, thank you.
Yeah, and our friend Josh Norris has talked so much about how he wins over the field in the same way in which Travis Kelsey does, and now Travis Kelsey's 37 years old, blah blah blah, doing podcasts with his future wife to be there, most popular woman on the planet. But I'm thinking out loud here. I'm gonna take off my tinfoil hat for a bit, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Um, Sorry, let me finish that point. I was in agreement with you in terms of like maybe Slim Kelsey too. Like Slim Kelsey shows up to camp. Slim Kelsey might still have it a little bit there. That's what I was trying to get at. But then let's take off the tinfoil for a second here and think about the other angle to this. They push the legal proceedings because they don't fully understand the case, because the case needs to be looked more into. Is there any non-zero chance he doesn't get suspended at all and he becomes a screaming value for our games?
I don't think so. I think he gets suspended. I think he gets suspended this year.
Yeah. Okay. What about the auxiliary decision with Xavier Worthy now? Does Xavier Worthy still belong where he's kind of flipped to? ETR has a very aggressive, or had a very aggressive ranking and stance on him of about 28 to 31 range. It was kind of bouncing in there for the last 2 weeks or so before this news. Yeah, what do you think about the Worthy stance?
Yeah, for me, like I can't get any higher on Xavier Worthy, Xavier Worthy.
Nice.
His ADP right now is I think is perfectly fine, and I think pushing him up any further is just like it's just not good, right? We don't have a sample of him being like anything sustainable or like, you know what I mean? Like over the course of like a 14-week regular best ball season,
Mm-hmm.
is this dude going to outscore the people that go behind him? Like how far behind or ahead of him is he going to score better than? I think that matters in these decisions, man. Like, does he have a ceiling? We think so. We saw it in the Super Bowl in garbage time. That was cool. But like,
Right.
what are we going to see? Are we going to see that second year leap here when they still have Kelsey and, Rashi there? I don't know, man. I think he's perfectly fine where he's priced, but like Pickens and JMO for me and DJ Moore, I prefer over him.
Okay. Yeah, I pulled up ADP to look at in tandem on the Black and Yellow Dog app here while we're going. Yeah, just like I guess the sticking point for you then is less about the context of the Chief and the context of the Chiefs and his role, and more so about like the landscape of drafting and the available targets in that range.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel better about these other guys that are there.
Cool. Last Chiefs related question I'm going to ask you: has the pendulum swung on Rashi Rice to be an eliminator ass pick now? Because conceivably his production is going to be front weighted to those 4 games, or does the suspension just deter you enough to be like, yeah, it's still bad in that format?
Yeah. Sorry. Excuse me. No, I still think it's bad.
Okay.
Yeah. I like knowing, or at least pretty confident in Rashid Rice being suspended at some point in this season. Like, why would you want that?
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
why would you
unless
draft a
you,
player you know is going to miss many games
yeah,
and,
yeah,
and be
unless we
eliminated?
just think, yeah, so unless we just think the ceiling is just so elite that when he's in there that it's so mispriced. But yeah, I don't think I'm in lockstep with. I don't think that either. I'm in lockstep with you that like the missed games is just signing up for missed games and the eliminator just feels so bad.
Oh, it makes no sense, man. It makes no sense. Like, I truly don't understand.
That's fun little exercise with the Best Ball Explorer there. I'm gonna hop on over to some slow drafts here. The people love when we talk through the slow drafts, also because they tend to be different formats than we talk through in the fast drafts. We're so accustomed to doing fast drafts that are like BBM, Husky, Puppy, etc. Our slow drafts are primarily weekly winners and eliminators, so we get to have some different conversations than we normally do. First one up here, Nez, weekly winners with 3-3 start: Chase Brown, Ken Walker, Tony Pollard, Justin Jefferson, aforementioned Xavier Worthy, and Mike Evans. Yeah, I mean, we could just go ahead and stack up Mahomes here. That makes a lot of sense to do it with the Worthy spot there. Solver really likes that one. There's also a Jacoby Myers that's staring us in the face that looks maybe a little mispriced, so we could push Mahomes. Probably not going to be able to push him to get him back at 91. But yeah, what do you think here? Would you stack it up with Mahomes in a weekly winners format, or would you take a little bit of perceived falling value here?
I don't think that Mahomes is somebody that I want in weekly winners.
Okay.
He's really expensive, and we just haven't seen a weekly like, oh, the guy you need, no questions asked ceiling from Mahomes in a long time. And I think Xavier Worthy can score 30 without Mahomes being any more than like a 22-point guy. So I know that the stack makes sense, but for the cost, it just doesn't. That does not make sense to me. Can you look at the running backs that are here?
Uh, Jordan Mason, Jalen
Okay.
Warren.
Yeah, not a
Yeah,
ton of ceiling here. I probably wide
right wrong.
receiver. The wide
Yeah.
receivers seem like the better ceiling shots.
Okay. Well
Or
then, how about
these
how
tight
about
ends.
ceiling shot in Igbuka to pair with Mike Evans and set up a coveted Baker double to pull Baker back?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good move.
All right, go ahead and queue up Baker for my next pick there. Next pick for me is going to be 91. Baker's ADP 85, rank 93. So hopefully we fall into that sweet spot. If not, we're going to be playing the offense through those two components. Can't get too upset about having Ibuka on a roster right now. Been a
Yeah.
little bit of a camp steam job. Eliminator ass team here to start. Nez, three running backs in Saquon
Love it.
Jacobs and Kyron.
Love it.
Um, is it time for my first wide receiver, or do we just keep going with Ken Walker here?
So I am of the opinion that Ken Walker is a scary eliminator pick for two reasons. One, this dude is not practicing full time. Like, that's
Yep,
cool that they have a maintenance plan. I prefer my players to not need maintenance plans, especially
sure.
in the eliminator. Um, and then two, like, because Trey Henderson goes so close to him and he has the week 14 bye, I've been breaking ties to Trey Henderson if I do want to go running back here. And I have been doing a lot of 4 running back starts in the eliminator as well. So,
Okay.
like, I like Henderson as a pick here. There are some good wide receivers that you could go with here as well, but I like Henderson. What wide receiver would you go with if you went wide receiver with your pick here?
Um, Pickens or Terry, I guess. Terry's obviously a little scary, but I don't think he's actually going to hold out.
No, I don't think
So,
so. It's
yeah.
just a matter of
And
if he starts slow.
yeah, I don't really read into that from like a vet guy who's been on that team in that system for a while and is coming off such a good year. Like
Hmm.
guys like that don't scare me as much as if it was like I'd be more concerned about James Cook, even though he's been there longer and stuff. I'd be a little more concerned about him starting slow because they don't want to force the issue with him if that had taken place. Like if his holdout had sustained. I don't know if that's a smart take or not, but I just think his replaceable skill set by like what they have on the team would have been scarier to deal with than Terry's. Like they're not just going to be like, who the hell are they going to run out at the X wide receiver if Terry isn't there, right? They're not just going to be like, all right, go back to the bench, buddy. We're going Noah Brown and Luke McCaffrey today. Like I'm not overly concerned about him not playing 85
Hmm.
plus percent of snaps.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. So, what do you think? Have you done any four running back starts in the eliminator?
I have, yeah, I definitely have. I actually would take Ken Walker here. I'm not as
Yeah,
scared as you are.
yeah, do it.
I like the Travion steam. I like the back weighted buy for sure. But like when I can take, a guy who, if everything breaks right for Ken Walker, like there's no reason he can't be like finish the year as like a top 12 running back. I have a little harder of a time getting there with Hendo, even though I love like the profile of him and stuff. He just feels like better in best ball-y than better in eliminatory to me,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one here. Nez, another eliminator team. We got 1-2 start here. Chase Brown, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill. We got the Breece Hall decision here. I know both you and I are a little fuddish on that. Solver likes it and likes us getting ahead at running back here. Xavier Worthy is ranked up as well. These ranks, admittedly, actually aren't ETR's updated ones from today. They're from like 2 days ago. So I should probably have drag and dropped the CSV prior to doing this show, but I totally forgot I even had ranks in here. But yeah, I don't know. Do you like Breece at the price here? Chuba's there, Devontae Adams, but we already got 2 wide receivers and it's kind of scary. What do you like, dude?
I would probably do Chuba.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're that out on Breece, huh?
I am. Yeah. I think Chuba has a really, really solid role for Carolina as a primary ball handler or, ball carrier. Sorry. Got hoops on the brain for some reason. Ball handler.
Yeah.
No, man, I don't like I get that there's more competition behind Chuba, but I think the Panthers are going to take a step forward. Chuba got paid, back weighted by. He's a priority target for me in the eliminator.
Nice. Yeah, I respect it, dude. Probably do 2 more here, Nez. Cover off the formats. This is a front end draft board of an eliminator there. Eliminator getting pretty close to filled. It is.
It filled yesterday.
Yeah, filled yesterday. So we got the big eliminator out now, $100 price point. Slightly different structure, guys. Take a peek at that. We're going to talk about it on our show today, live show that is today. But did away with the head-to-head, more of the traditional style eliminator just because of the way the math works out. But yeah, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown here. We get a Puka Nacua, low-key fall, I guess, based on the current set of circumstance with Matthew Stafford. Genty, kind of like a little bit of a tear break mentally at the running back position, and definitely a format that favors running back. I think I would agree with the Solver and Genty here. Who do you like, Des?
Yeah, I think Genty, but it definitely doesn't feel awesome with 2 week 8 bias to start, but I do think Genty.
Okay. Yeah, that is a good point with the week 8 buys on the back end side of the board in Eliminator in particular is pretty tough to navigate. Like the bringing up the board here for a second. You got Amon-Ra with 1 there. Who's the other ones I was thinking of? Michael Thomas, right? Michael Thomas. Jesus, turn back the clock 5 years. Brian Thomas has 1 there, and Puka has 1, and Genty has 1. So it's really easy to stack up 8s at that 111 or 112 draft slot there. So definitely something to be mindful, and maybe something that the Solver's trying to tell us here by pulling up Bucky Irving and pulling up Chase Brown are their suggestions there. I had like secondary suggestions there.
Mm-hmm. No, you do get 16 picks to figure out what to do about these double week 8 buys. So I think Genty is the right pick still.
Cool. Let's go to the back end of the draft board here and check out what's going down in the Husky. This is a 2-4-6-2. We got an elite quarterback, which is a little bit rare for your boy. But we got Lamar Jackson. We got Cam Ward here. We got Henry, Connor, Etienne, Eckler, Puka, DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley stacks up there. Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman Jr., Cedric Tillman, Mark Andrews, and Dalton Kincaid. So overlapping buys might have to add another tight end there at the bitter end. But yeah, I don't know. Anthony Richardson's getting some love from my friends at the Solver there, and that always interests me.
Mm-hmm.
We are a little weak at the running back position. I'm assuming this is way past the range in which Judkins went in this draft, so there's no point in even checking. But you always like to make sure when you're on the slow draft clock when there's big news that happens. Yeah, what stands out to you here, Nez?
I think Anthony Richardson is like just always such a fun fun click. Running backs here, like Shipley definitely is, looking like a good handcuff. Like anybody that you pick back here is essentially like a contingent play. So, you can really get you can get essentially the same probability of hit from any other running back that you take after this. But so it's just a matter of like how much you really want Anthony Richardson versus like what do you value these running backs here. Because in my opinion, it'd probably be between AR or a running back. But is there any other player that you're considering here?
No, once the solver goes 10 out of 10 AR and confirms my priors, I just rip it in usually.
That stacks up.
Yeah, as if he wasn't thinking about it earlier to just take this grown ass man, Michael Pittman. What could possibly be in his future for this roster? Gonna go ahead and take that in the Husky there, and then that'll conclude the slow drafts. We already hit a couple weekly winners and eliminator ones there, and we want to make sure we get a fast draft in. So fast draft coming your way as soon as I click this Anthony Richardson pick in 2. All right, back here, hopped in a BBM draft there. Didn't want to have you guys waiting for what's on the clock. And Bajan goes 101 in this draft to the non-Badger Timothy there.
Whoa.
This, Nez, I'm not going to lie. This is my second Jamar Chase 102 share today. So, nobody runs better.
Today?
Today.
What are you
today?
What are you? Why don't I just do that more? And then Jefferson 103. Wow, it is August.
Yeah, man. Wild West out here. Lobbies are filling quickly, and people are getting the takes off their chest here. That's actually you and I, as it was just loading there, we're talking what we're gonna do at the 102 there. But when Chase falls to you, you just go ahead and click that button, I think. But had Chase not fallen to us there, let's assume it goes normal with Chase at the 101 there. What would you have attacked there at the 102?
I probably would have gone Lamb.
Yeah. The new
meta?
I'm
going Lamb for most of these 102s lately. We've talked about this a lot, but the second and third round just has much better running back picks if when you're looking at your options more often than not right now.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, man. Like the way my roster's set up, I love Bajan, I love Gibbs, I love Saquon, I love all these targets at the front end of the draft board. I love the first 7 spots right now, and then I think it's getting a little more murky at the back end of draft boards. I've really enjoyed my roster construction more, just given the way that like Ken Walker's getting pulled up to the left side. Hendo's getting pulled up to the left side. James Cook is no longer falling to the left side of the board. He's hanging out on the right side of the board now. And you do leave yourself in this situation where if you do take running back early, there's not a good pocket for the wide receivers, or as good a pocket for the wide receivers. Whereas the running backs that I feel comfortable clicking go in tandem with the wide receivers at the front end, especially on the left side, better right now.
Exactly. I mean, that is it. That's what it is. Like straight up is just like from a roster construction standpoint, it just feels better to do that. That said, like I love Bijan. I love Saquon. Who doesn't? I mean, I guess underdog drafters, because Saquon keeps falling to the 106 for no reason. But yeah, just from like a structure standpoint, I can live with like the lesser raw points from Lamb, knowing that the team just comes together so much better when you take a wide receiver at the 102 right now.
Yeah. A little unfortunate to see both Bucky and Jacobs go there in front of us. Vlad goes off there. Oh, nice. This is that JT fall that I'm living for right now. Nez, you like Jonathan Taylor here, or do you want to stack it up with Chase Brown?
No, I like Jonathan Taylor here. Holy shit, what a start.
Yeah, I'm good with either there. I'd actually be ecstatic if Chase Brown comes back here. I do think I like JT a little bit more in a vacuum. I understand the correlated team bet there, but
Hmm.
yeah, I'm a proponent of taking JT. What do you like here next, dude? Solver telling us Tyreek Hill. I'd be in agreement with it.
Let's do Tyreek.
All right. I know there's a lot of question marks around Tyreek, but I also think like it gets a maybe this is just my Miami potential bounce back biases stemming through here, but I do think we forget how high the weekly ceiling for him is, and the fact that like Tyreek isn't like this guy who was going at the turn the last couple years, and we're talking about it like Tyreek was once upon a time a dude who was fighting for 101 or at least WR1 at his position on this site. So has he lost a step? Has he lost a screw? Perhaps. But I'm willing to ape back in at around 3 price tag at times.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know, I'm worried about this guy's like want to. Does this
Right.
does this dude want to play football? I'm honestly like not entirely sure. He just seems deeply unserious for a league that requires a lot of buy-in. So it concerns me. But like
Yeah.
when you roll the nuts of Chase and JT, you might as well just like keep it going and take Tyreek.
Yeah, I like that shout. And like we know those Arizona pieces are going to be paired with Chase so frequently. Not that the uniqueness angle conversation that we had this week on our stream in tandem with the baseball stuff that like we're right amidst dinger playoffs right now, and it's the first time we've ever had ownership data, and the thresholds which you have to clear to be unique are so effing low. It is shocking how even like the have to have it MVP style player who was available at pick 120 is only 20% owned in that contest. Now, that might skew a little bit differently and a little more heavy in a football contest than a baseball. It is apples and oranges, but just using that as a precursor, um, I'm not as worried about the ownership stuff, especially at front end of draft boards, as I once upon a time was. That being said, I do think, Marvin Harrison is artificially pulled up to that side because of it, right? Because of that stack. And that's not something that I necessarily believe in.
Yeah, I do like to just windmill it in with McBride though,
Sure. Yeah.
but with Marv, that's a tougher click for me for sure. But I'm with you. I definitely don't care about chalk pairings in Best Ball Mania. I don't think that. Um, yeah, it just is not the move, right? All the talk these days in DFS is about how like chalk is fine. It's just about what you pair around it.
Right.
And I think that principle more than applies in what would be a 539 person final,
Yeah.
right? Like you don't
It's
need to get that unique.
right. It's literally a fullback dive. Like when you think about it through the lens of our daily contests on the site, the final of BBM is literally the same size as a fullback dive. I have never in my life seen a fullback dive duped. Now, the path to getting to a fullback dive is a little different than the path to getting to a BBM final, which leads to some overlap in player pairings. That being said, right?
Yeah.
As we're back up on the clock here, Terry falls all the way back to us. If we want to just go ahead and windmill that one in, we could also do the Ken Walker or Hendo stuff that we just talked about in the slow. What do you like, dude?
I think I like Terry.
Yeah, I honestly haven't taken a ton of Terry this year. And this was, kind of agnostic of the fact that he might be a holdout candidate or that he is holding out. It was more of I just thought Washington was a little overpriced in general, and I thought the regression monster was going to get him in the touchdown department. But when you get him on the left side of the board with a start like this, that's already scrolly and unique, it feels like a good ad.
Mhm.
Next up here, I would turn my attention to one of the running backs, but what do you like?
Yeah, I think Ken Walker or Trey, and I know you like Ken Walker, so let's take him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've I don't think I've fortified a stance of like Hendo versus Walker, but like in my mind, I am a Walker bull. I think like that's I just
Oh, you are.
yeah, the way they've been talking about him, the outside zone run scheme, his ability to catch passes. Like, what was the stat that you had, if you could remember off the top of your head? How many how many catches did he have last season in those limited starts? Do you remember? It was like
No,
40.
I'd have to look it up, and I can
Okay.
get there in like a second for you.
Like, it's not the greatest thing in the world that he's missing time with injury, especially a dude who has had injuries to deal with in the past. But he is a what do you win when you win? Like if Ken Walker outscored Omarion Hampton or Kyron Williams this year, I wouldn't be like that shocked. I would just be that it just broke right for him.
Yeah, he had 46 receptions in 12 games, and I mean 17 game pace, or I guess we can, call it 16 game pace, since that's really what we care about. That's like 60 receptions
Right.
stretched out for a best ball season, which would be good.
It would be a bonus. Yes. Yeah, I mean, like everyone's taking Hendo there for his pass catching chops and wish casting the offense to be better and whatever. But you can still poke holes in the offensive line. Ramondre being utilized at the goal line, though the offensive line much improved there and probably still better than Seattle's. But yeah, I just when I'm doing that 1v1, I don't know. Give me the guy who has the potential to not be the committee back. I know we want Sharps to be a thing, but it was clear as day last year with obviously new OC this season, but same coaching regime this year. It was clear as day that they just wanted Walker to be the guy when he was healthy enough to be the guy. And then when he was not, they wanted Sharps to be the guy, right?
Yeah, I am curious how that'll play out this year.
Yeah.
If that changes at all, but yeah, he was very good when he was there. We did not have to worry about Sharps at all when he was active.
Some interesting stuff going down here. As Hendo falls back to 56 in this economy. That's kind of like his old price tag there. Yeah, Chuba and Harvey kind of going where they quote unquote belong. We get Pearsall pulled up a little bit. That's kind of becoming the new alpha that he is the first Niners wide receiver off the board. Shit. Ibuka and Golden go back to back. Those are the new price tags for them vaulting into the 6th round here. This is kind of like an end of a pocket of wide receiver in my estimation. I like taking Myers here. Solver likes Juwan Jennings or Judy or Myers. What do you like?
I think I prefer Jennings.
Okay, let's do it then.
Yeah, he's another one that I think is like I think he's holding in. And from a CLV standpoint, once these things get resolved, I think both these guys, gain ADP value, and this team looks pretty in the best ball explorer, if nothing else.
Yeah, no, I like your shouts there. Obviously, a little bit of a calf thing that he's dealing with. Guy on the turn ends up taking suspended Addison and Pacheco. I like Tony Redacted, aka Tony Pollard here, but I'd hear you out if you want to go wide receiver again.
No, I'm cool with Pollard.
Yeah, do you think he is like? You guys can see the ETR rank beside his name there at 76. They like Myers and Judy above both there. I'm a little bit skittish on the quarterback situation with the Browns right now. Judy seems to be like a perennial faller in rooms, just kind of like what I'm observing. But yeah, do you think Tony Pollard belongs kind of like up a tier right now, maybe even ahead of the Pachecos and Caleb Johnsons after the Tajay Spears injury there in the first game of preseason?
Yeah, I think Tony Pollard has room to run. Like, I don't know. So I'm kind of getting more bullish on Pacheco as well, but it's really like a Caleb Johnson Swift thing where like I would much rather have Pollard and Pacheco over those two.
Just bets on the offenses kind of vibes.
Yeah. And then another feather in Pollard's cap, not for BBM, but in Eliminator, like I'm pulling Pollard up like 12 picks because of the Tajay Spears stuff. and just what I think his range of outcomes are in general. John, just give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I need to. Baby
Yeah,
Mello needs an extra pair of hands. Just give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
you're good, man. Yeah, just pulling up a little bit of Pollard stuff right now, thinking about it. I mean, quietest back to back to back 1K seasons. I mean, these things are quiet back to back to back 1K rushing seasons. Yeah. Still doing it via the receptions as well. Yeah. 41 of them last year. We think that offense is going to be improved with Ward at the helm. I'm drinking the Tony Redacted Kool-Aid again at this price point. Plus, it goes without saying, but it needs to be said here. With the addition of the profile pictures on Underdog here, you can see that they've updated some of them. Tony Pollard with the do-rag. Yeah, I mean, that goes hard. That goes hard. If you're not boosting your ranks for him adding the do-rag, if you're not boosting your ranks for guys adding the senior or the junior to their name bars, I don't know what you're doing. I do not know what you're doing if you are not giving some credence to those. Fun start here. I mean, obviously the Jonathan Taylor, we call it a fall. It's only 3 picks or 2.5 picks, but yeah, fun start here when we get a little JT plus Chase plus Hill start. Then we got the Terry fall back to the other side of the board, and then Ken Walker, Tony Pollard, and Juwan Jennings. Next up in this portion of the draft board is when I start thinking about tight end and quarterback. I have noticed the quarterbacks are rising in a decent capacity, especially in this range, because there is a brick of like wide receiver after it's about now. There's a brick of wide receiver in terms of ADP that is just like not that fun to click on. You got the Shakir injury, you got the Godwin injury, you got however people feel about Michael Pittman, kind of mixed reviews there. You got Keon Coleman and Kupp, who are 2 guys people don't love to click. And then you got Mooney injury. And then there's just no yellow forever. You know, Ayuk's hurt. Burden you can pull up if you want to do that stack thing. But like he's had mixed camp reviews. There's just like this really weird pocket that the market is set for us where it's just like, yeah, it's time for quarterback and it's time for tight end and whatever. So the only time I'm really clicking wide receiver here is if Pittman comes back or if I pull up Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, no, you nailed it, man. It's a gross area to take wide receivers if you need to, and yeah, I just wouldn't force it. All right.
Nez, they like Travis Kelce here for our first tight end. Mahomes is already gone. We could do Purdy to stack up with Juwan Jennings.
I think Kelce or Purdy. What do you like?
Let's do Kelce because he's first, and I don't think the guy on the end, he might take a double tight end, but I don't think he's going to take Purdy. So we can have the conversation after there. I am getting a little more intrigued with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp had like the correlation with Walker there. Like if Sam Darnold looks anything like, previous year there and not the seeing ghost version of Sam Darnold, that could get home. But Solver likes Purdy. I think we both like Purdy here.
Yeah, I think Purdy's the move.
Yeah, I've ran this exercise too many times to know if you don't take at least one quarterback in this spot of the draft board, that you're most likely taking 2 with your next go round, and it's going to be like QB 17 and QB 23, something like that. And there's nothing wrong with that structure or that build, but none of them stack outside of Tua with what we have going on right here.
Yeah, exactly. And we know we like some later quarterbacks too if we need to take them. So it's really no big deal at all. Getting the stack feels nice, especially with Juwan. And we think, I mean, like the ceiling with the Niners is obviously huge, right? It's not the same as like the Dolphins because there's obviously different things happening there, but I think they both have this like potential to erupt offensively. 2 teams too that really disappointed last year for one reason or another. So yeah, I like the Purdy bet a lot with Juwan. And then the Kelce pick, man. I am like warming up to Kelce quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah. Slim
The
Kelsey?
volume that he got last year, man, like the volume is not really a problem. You know,
Sure.
like yeah, it wasn't a dominated, like he didn't dominate last year, but like he was still a top finishing tight end. I mean, he had 133 targets last year. He caught 97 balls. Like for a tight end, that'll play. That'll
Yeah.
play. Just like didn't score touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, if he gets any bit of Mark Andrews' touchdown variance, pendulum swinging his direction, like he would have been a huge smash last year. I have a little bit of FUD around Kelsey, like the last 2 years, obviously going into his, what is he, age 37 this year, age 36, something like that, age 36 season here.
It's his 13th season.
Yeah.
He's 35, probably turning 36. Yeah.
Yeah. So like my one gripe, obviously, or two, I guess, we didn't really talk about it when we talked about the Rice thing, is obviously the overlap in their kind of like roles and underneath and whatever. That makes him kind of a slow starter, which would potentially be good for his value going forward in BBM because it would be back-weighted production. So what is bad for Rice is now good for Kelsey. So that might be like one little feather in his cap. But the one bear thing I was going to say is just the fact that they held him out the previous year and didn't push him for that 1K yards because they prioritized the playoffs so hard. Then last year, they kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit there. Don't push him as hard in the regular season. Save him for the playoffs. Like what matters most to Travis Kelsey here to finish his career? And it's probably one last kick at the Super Bowl can, right? So who's the first guy that they're going to start quiet resting like down the stretch? I think it's Travis Kelsey, and that's when all our money is up for grabs, right?
I guess, but like,
Yeah.
they still want to get the best seating possible.
Dude, I'm just going to go ahead and click Dak here.
Sure.
I mean, a kind of a bullish rank on Ayuk here. I'm soft out on Ayuk. He's been falling a lot. I have no idea.
Fall. Yeah.
Yeah. When Dak comes all the way back here, we're not the CD Lamb drafter, but getting Dak like 15 picks past when the cutoff next is like Herbert, Love, etc. Like I'm just gonna take Dak and figure it out with a back stack. Like we could take Ferg right after this. We could try and push Ferg to our next pick. We could take Javonte Williams or Jadon Blue and make it work. Just it feels good.
Yeah, that's a value that like you just take, I think. And even if it doesn't get stacked, it's whatever. I just can't believe that guy didn't take him. The guy next to us has CD.
Yeah, and he took McCarthy instead. Nez, who would you like to do here? Would you like to pull up the Ferg?
I think I would just like Ferg.
Yeah, and you like that better than the running back pull up idea?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
One pitfall to it is just the overlapping 10 buys with him and Kelsey. So we're probably going to have to burn a roster spot on the very last pick with like a bye week coverage tight end, something like that. But I don't know. Is that worth the sacrifice of getting Dak at a discount? Me thinks so.
Yeah, and I mean, you could even talk me into not caring about the bye week overlap.
Sure.
Depending, like if there are picks there that we like more than a week 10 bye coverage, like I could be talked into it. I'm not worried about taking a 0-1 week at tight end.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, usually the most replaceable score within a lineup anyways, and the most touchdown variant position. Like there's not zero chance that in week 6 of the season, Ferguson goes for 1.4 fantasy points anyways. So why not? Why do we need to jam somebody else's 1.4 fantasy points in week 10? Like it's not doing anything for us.
Yeah, not really. No. Man, I just can't believe that 3-hole drafter didn't take Dak at that discount.
Yeah, Coach Jay Hill. He was the Jefferson. It was the 4-hole.
Well, Dale.
Yeah,
our guy Dale McNeil.
Yeah, and he already had 2 quarterbacks. He had Allen and Mahomes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you just take your third, or would you just like make you made your bed?
You made your bed. Yeah, you made your bed by taking 2 QBs early. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I think you're right. But man, that's I think if Dak if nobody took Dak and he had Dak in the 11th, then I probably, if I was him, I think I'd say screw it and take Dak.
Yeah. The spot I would have taken him is in Tampa's spot here. Oh no, he had Daniels already. Interesting decision here. So he has Daniels and then he has Pickens and he takes Naked Fields at 106 and then Loveland there, where he could have taken Dak instead of Fields on a Pickens team.
Hmm.
Do you prefer Naked Fields? I mean, he could still backstack it or something. Do you prefer Naked Fields there or just Dak stacked with Pickens?
Oh, Dak and Pickens all day there.
Yeah, same. I'm the same way. Maybe that's just because we value Dak closer to Fields than the
Yeah.
Field perceivably does. But like, yeah, man, this is
Probably part of it.
a nice little fall because look at the right side of the room here. Like, you know, your boy Bryce Young getting pulled up. Penix goes now. Like all this purple just went. Interesting decisions for us here, dude. We might get Javonte to come back, and I think me and the solver would pound the table for it. Yeah, Braylon Allen's kind of a fun pick right now in that range. I think we just take Javonte and hope he's RB1 now.
Yeah, he's gonna get first. It looks like it's his job to lose right now because of the health of everybody else behind him. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. We go ahead and do that. We get ourselves a Dak stack to back stack with that falling price tag. Makes it feel way, way better now, like way more palatable that we pulled up Ferg and then we got to add either Javonte or Blue on the way back. Nez, if Braylon Allen comes back to us, we might be able to take him and shut it down. But there is this little pocket of wide receiver, and then it does kind of fall off a cliff. How would you spend this capital here?
I think what wide receiver do you like here?
I don't know. That's the problem.
Okay.
Probably Palmer or Tillman.
Let's go Braylon.
Okay. Who do you like best there? Solver was saying Hollywood Brown. I'm a little scared of the injury and the fact that we just haven't seen good football from him in like, I don't know, 2 years, a year and 8 months, something like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely worried about it too. I think I probably would have gone DeMario Douglas if I had to go a wide receiver there. But I like the Braylon ceiling shot. The only reason I was like maybe thinking, pass on Braylon is that like if I know I want one more running back on a team, and we clearly did, like Marshawn Lloyd is like a 17th round target for me right now. The fact that he's healthy, practicing, looking good in camp, he's been like my, just like I've got him etched on like many teams before I even take him.
Right on. Yeah, just a player take there, a price point thing that you like at the back end.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty good pick. He used to be available in the 18th. Now you kind of have to force the issue and take him in the 17th if you would like him.
Yeah, I won't fight you on that one. There's definitely some like I do gravitate to liking the back end running back bets right now more than the back end wide receiver bets, and I think that pendulum has swung a little bit as the BBM draft window has gone. Maybe that's just because we get a little more information or that sort of thing, but. Yeah, man, like I'm really content back here. Like occasionally I'll take a Najee stab because you like it, and I just don't want to get caught with my pants down based on like the floor kind of being in, to borrow a crypto term. But I really like the Rico shot. I like the JCM shot. I like the contingent upside of Shipley. I like the contingent upside of clicking on either Sean Tucker or Blake Corum as well. So yeah, I kind of like that 5th or 6th running back being tacked on at the very end there.
Yeah, there's some good contingency plays back here. Like you can definitely make the case for a lot of these guys.
Yeah. Nez, we are currently at a 2.542. Weird little construction.
Yeah, that's a funky little start.
Yeah, it is. It is. We have filled our running back capital. We have almost filled our wide receiver, and we are pretty well solid in both the quarterback and the tight end department. It is a very balanced, nice start, even though it looks a little unconventional. Purdy, Dak, JT, Walker, Pollard, Javonte, Braylon Allen. I think we're done at running back.
Oh yeah.
Chase, Hill, Terry, Jawan Jennings. I think we might need a little bit of depth there just to cover a little bit of the extreme question marks, but good price tags for them. And then 2 tight ends, both with the sharing the bye week, Kelsey and Ferg. Undecided if we're going to add a third yet. There's the new Chig price tag going ahead of Ertz. Xavier Legette is here.
Do you want to do Tua?
Yeah, Solver likes Tua. I wasn't going to do a third QB on this, but
I wasn't thinking about it either, and then Tua fell here. And
let's
I mean,
do it, man.
Yeah, like if I have one dolphin, like I want 2 dolphins. You know, it's like min 2 dolphins if I'm drafting a dolphin.
I think that probably just fortified our stance at tight end to not add another one.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you like at wide receiver then? Because I think we got to go wide receiver here. Quentin Johnston still getting some love. Thornton.
I like
Thielen
or QJ.
I think I like Thielen.
Okay. I'm cool with Thielen because, like, you mentioned question marks at the beginning of the season for our wide receiver room, which I totally agree with. And I have question marks for Thielen end of season, even though he famously had a monster Week 17 game last year. But there's a lot of there's a lot of talent in Carolina, man. Now, I don't think Hunter Renfrow is challenging him for a job because it does seem like he's struggling to stay healthy, but we'll see about that. The exciting news on him is definitely kind of dissipated, but Coker is there, Legette is there, and obviously Tetaroa is there. So they're not running a whole lot of 4 wide sets, I'd imagine. So, at some point, does Adam Thielen get phased out? Perhaps, but I'm of the belief that he can still play a little bit of football, man. He just is perennially underrated year after year.
35 years old, same age as Kelsey here. So we're truly taking all the old dust balls on this team, but 900 yards, 720, 716, 1,000 and 615 last year. Second year with Carolina was last year, and he's had 1,600 yards in the 27 games he's played with Carolina. Now, obviously, the circumstances have changed, as you've alluded to, but when he came back from the injury last year, 57 yards, 99 and a touchdown, 102, 51, 43 and a touchdown, 110 and 2 scores in Week 16. Like, these are nothing to sneeze at box scores.
Dude, these are really good weeks.
Yeah.
Really good weeks. Like, I said from the jump, man, like, I know everybody is probably sick and tired of like we get it. I liked Bryce Young, and Bryce Young looks good at the second half of last season. I really thought that a player like Thielen, a great route runner who gets open, was just like perfect for Bryce Young, who can like put it on a dot to guys. And I mean, that looked to be the case last year. I mean, over the course of the full season, man, you even include the game against Vegas where he leaves early. I mean, he averaged 60 yards a game.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with this, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been good for a while. He might still just be good. Like, everybody wants him to be everybody wants him to be dust and to go away. I kind of like just taking Adam Thielen. But like I said, I do worry about end of season role if like Legette takes a step forward, if Coker emerges, but those guys need to show it first.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously Drumbeat's pretty hard right now from the connection with all these young guys with Young, but if we just get like 4 or 5 usable weeks at this price point, or and like not like even slate breaking weeks, like just usable scores, I'll be quite content.
100%.
Yeah. Thornton is continuing to fall here, comes all the way back to us. I don't know your thoughts on him in general. Slayton is another guy I've been mixing in here.
I think I like Slayton.
Me too, dude.
Yeah.
The ETR ranks, like, obviously, like, Solver's factoring in ADP in a pretty strong way here, just given that he's a 166 there. But I think this is kind of like the time in the calendar where we can find, our own little narratives here, and Slayton feels good right now.
Yeah, I agree. What tight ends are here? Just in case we want to go like 3-5-7-3.
Kate
Yeah.
Otten gives us some 17 correlation. Gasecki has the same bye week. Schultz is there. Theo Johnson.
I think we do Thornton.
You like Thornton? You like Thornton
So
better than the Jalen Noel bet?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Thornton. Like at first, I wasn't buying the like OTA stuff. I was
Yep.
like, like who cares? And then like the drumbeat has just sustained on Thornton.
Mhm.
Like a lot of really positive camp reports on Thornton. Like expectations of him being a week one contributor to the team. Like the beat writers have been telling us like, hey, he's running with the ones all the time and he's
Good.
making plays. Like that entices me with Geno Smith there, and especially because he's a 17th round pick here, where his ADP is like 166. So
Right.
like, I think 80 obviously CLV or value in a draft at this range is like clearly overrated, but that's significant. That's pretty
Mhm.
significant for a guy
Yeah,
that
man.
appears to be a starter.
Yeah, pass rate over expectation has been really good with Pete Carroll and Geno combos, whether that was because of the offensive line, whether that was because of what they were trying to do schematically in Seattle there. Maybe it changes with Chip Kelly with Vegas. But yeah, give me a 6'5" dude who's got some speed and on the outside, he's only 22. Like, let's just see what happens kind of deal.
Exactly.
Yeah, fourth round draft capital, which is not crazy, not something we want to get like crazy overweight on, like historically speaking. But we're dealing with a whole bunch of $1 players back here, so
Yeah.
why not take a ceiling shot?
Yeah. What do you think about the fact that like Besh had the had like way more draft capital than him, and
Yep.
then like they immediately just like threw out their priors and were like, no, Thornton is the guy. Like, do you think like I think it's kind of hard to not be bullish on Thornton because of that. Like Jack Besh was a second round pick,
Right.
and they get a look at both these guys, and they're like immediately it's Thornton.
Yeah, it's a good point, dude.
That's
It
weird.
is. Yeah, it is weird to like instantly adjust our priors when they told us like, hey, we like this guy a lot more. But it's very easy to buy into instantly changing your priors once they see it in real time, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like the real life angle of it.
Like immediately, like nope, we were wrong. It's Thornton. It's always been Thornton.
Yeah.
Um, brother of Taekwon.
Ooh, that we're talking BBM winning week 17 bring back Taekwon Thornton. Methinks. Oh man.
And dude, and he's fast as shit, just like Taekwon.
Right. Yeah, it's funny to just look at all of the most recent nuggets on Jack Best. And it was like mostly working with second team, has some work to do, like all this sort of stuff. Dante Thornton, a roster must, is like another one associated with Jack Best news. So looking at just like all the Coach Speak Index stuff, everything has been a little bearish on the Best stuff and a little bullish on the Thornton stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Nez, we are gonna have one final pick here. I'm fine eating the bye week stuff, unless maybe Waller's there for the Miami double. Yeah, no overlap in there, so like I would consider that. I kind of want another wide receiver though. How do you feel?
I do think another wide receiver would make sense. But like, let's just look at the tight ends one more time, just like isolate them. So Waller stacked, but
Yeah, I
man,
think.
that feels like that feels scary.
Yeah, I think I'd be fine with it. It'd be the oldest, dustiest tight end room ever here, but at least Ferg got paid would be the nice thing I'd say about it. But yeah, I would either do Waller. I mean, we take a lot of Theo, um, or we just take a rookie swing at wide receiver because our wide receiver room's a little old. There goes one of the rookie swings I wanted to take. Franklin has some ceiling and is a bring back off the Kelsey stuff. Josh Reynolds getting some steam as WR2. Who do you like?
I think Darren Waller.
All right. He says with conviction in his whole chest.
It's just the correct play.
Yeah, Solver. Dude, honestly, sometimes you just got to be like, yo, Solver's giving us a 10 on this one. We just got to trust it, bro. We just got to trust it.
I know, man. Like, what are we to do? What are we
Yeah.
to do? I don't know, man.
I'm going to go ahead, generate up the draft report there, Nez. We're going to take one glance at that, and then we're going to call it a show and go over and talk a little bit of baseball, which I guess you guys will be seeing in reverse order. That's kind of funny. But yeah, from this 102 draft slot here, Nez, the Solver Draft Assist report, a bunch of ADP value and a little DC. I don't know, man. We were kind of poo-pooing a little bit of that earlier, but a lot of that's what weighted in the quarterback falls and Thornton as the tack on last wide receiver. So I don't know if you believe in it from a player take standpoint. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. But we do end up here with a 3-5-7-3 after a 1-3-4-1 start. That 1-3-4-1 sounds so good from a first half build standpoint, Nez, but then we did turn it into 2-5-4-2 and put ourselves in like a little funky position and then tried to land the plane. So very interesting roster construction here. Only one rookie, only one sophomore. So a little bit of the vet, old, long in the tooth guys here. A ton of 15, 16, and 17 correlations scattered throughout it here. Yes, of that 3-5-7-3, it is Purdy, it is Dak, it is Tua. It's Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, Tony Pollard, aka Tony Redacted, Javonte Williams, Braylon Allen, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, F1 Terry, who fell back to the left side of the board, Jawan Jennings, who continues to slip in rooms, Adam Thielen, Darius Slayton, and Dante Thornton. And then we go with the Kelsey, Ferg, and Waller three-headed monster in the tight end room there because of the double 10 bye weeks and the correlation. Nez, the pressing question of our generation: does it suck or does it fuck?
No, this definitely this team fucks. It's just like something you've never tried before, and turns out it actually was a lot of fun, and you'd probably do it again if you had the opportunity.
Yeah, if afforded the opportunity, we would consider again. Nice, dude. Yeah, I really like our allotment of capital here. As you guys can see, we kind of perfectly middled all the buckets and spent it in logical ways. Maybe we could have got away with passing on Braylon Allen and taking a higher ceiling shot wide receiver in that spot, and then just tacking on a contingent bet that was less likely than Allen late at a later date, like as Nez alluded to, like taking Lloyd in the last round or something like that. And we could have spent up a little bit more at the wide receiver position. But in general, I don't know, getting those two quarterback fallers, I think it was a good idea to turn this into a 3 quarterback team. Once we did make that Tyreek bet there, you alluded to wanting 2 Dolphins or no Dolphins, kind of, or like 2+ Dolphins or no Dolphins. So I think that was pretty sharp there. And then we doubled down on it with Waller in the last round. So does feel pretty good, my friend.
Yeah, no, I like the way that this team turned out. This is the way that we thought about each pick is how I like to draft, right? I mean, like, we didn't just like take a wide receiver at the Javonte Braylon pick because we felt like we needed wide receivers, because that's what you do. Like, we drafted what we thought was the best play and then figured it out later. And I like the way the team turned out a lot.
Absolutely, bro. Could not agree more. Shout out to the good people at the Solver. Link in the bio below to check out the draft assistant tool there. Go ahead and use the Best Ball Explorer 2 functions of that are free. So go ahead, just mess around with it, guys. Link for that one in the description below as well. Shout out to the good people at the Solver. So fun to draft alongside with. And these instantly generated reports that we get to look through and talk through right after are just chef's kiss on also drafting a good team. Until next time, we will be back for that 1.09, which is a really murky draft slot right now, Ness. So that'll be next time to discuss on the Solver series. Everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace.